Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start very basic on how Apex Legends Ranked works. As the video progresses, we'll get very detailed and break down its point structure and even provide an Excel document for you to really break things down in an easier to read format. This may seem a bit excessive for some, but I haven't really seen it broken down to this level of detail. I'm showcasing it now on screen as you can see. No one in the game is going to really memorize the scoring coming up at every which moment, but at least you can be knowledgeable on how it scales. When breaking down scoring per rank later, we'll trickle in some tips and tricks based on your rank and how you can improve. As per usual, we will timestamp the video to ensure you get the information you specifically need. How does Apex Legends Ranked work? Well, for those that are extremely new to the game, it is a completely separate playlist where your current MMR or skill rating from a regular pub matches really does not apply. Let us say you have over 100,000 eliminations on Apex Legends but have never played Ranked. Or perhaps you took several seasons off. Because keep in mind that the season does reset and drop you 2 ranks every time. That is to keep things fresh so you can keep pushing for more RP and so forth. Well, back to the task at hand, that individual will be placed in bronze lobbies if they have not played for an extended period of time or have not played ranked at all. Bronze lobbies are definitely a different MMR and will not be matched against players of your similar skill level at the start. As you rank up and play, you will of course be matched in harder lobbies, so the longer you play ranked and actually rank up, the harder and more difficult your lobbies will become. There are various ranks within those ranks, of course, and those we'll label as tiers. Each rank has 4 tiers until you obtain the next color rank. Ranks include bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and of course the coveted predator rank. So within those ranks, using bronze as an example, there's bronze 4, bronze 3, bronze 2, and bronze 1. Now once you've passed 1, you advance into the next color rank. Just a really big note, once you achieve a color rank, you cannot de-rank to a prior rank, but within each tier rank number, you can drop. You can drop because as tiers go, there is an entry cost to play. Don't worry, you can always play even if you're at the lowest tier, meaning Diamond 4 as an example. You will be what they infamously call Hard Stuck Gold 4, Hard Stuck Platinum 4, and so forth, but don't worry, after you watch this video and understand the points more, let's get into making smarter decisions and how you can continuously rank up. Remember not to leave your game early or else you also will suffer an abandonment penalty. So if you play ranked, be sure to be ready to really invest and play, because the penalty can be hefty depending on your rank. It multiplies times 2 the entry cost. You can only leave a match once you are eliminated, and your banner timer has run out. Even then, because placement points scale, it's important to stay for that extra bit of RP as your teammates clutch out better placement. So the next question, how does scoring work in Ranked? This is the biggest thing individuals don't pay much attention to, and we're going to get very granular about each rank, and that's why I shared that spreadsheet at the start of the video. You will attain points based on your number of eliminations / assists and are capped at 6, factoring in of course scaling based on your overall placement / win. This is where the tips are going to really come into play, because knowledge is going to be power, knowing when you need to push and when you need to wait for the extra RP to continuously rank. Just a little reminder, assists count as long as you did damage in the last 10 seconds to the individual and that individual has not healed. For this portion, what I want to discuss is quickly how I broke down the data in the spreadsheet. So on the very far left, I still put the legend on how many points that you get per placement, plus what you multiply times the number of kills that you have. So in this example, let's say you only have 2 kills and you got 13th place. Well, you got 5 RP points, plus the 2 kills, which you multiply times 2 times 10, which is a total of 25 points that you garnered here. So this does slide over with you. So if you're looking at this specifically and you want to see the placement, overall with the spreadsheet, I just wanted to provide a very easy to look at. This is all the data really broken down per placement. So I understand it can be a little overwhelming to look at. But at the same time, I think it's really good to see as you get more kills just how much it scales and how important it is to also get into engagements, but also to realize how much your placement points are valued as you continue on within the lobby. And enemies are eliminated. So that's just a quick breakdown of the spreadsheet here. Again, it's in the description down below. I really just wanted to highlight this for you guys, realizing all the ranks are here and that it is all tallied up for you to really look at. All right, so let's segue over to talking about how scoring works now that we understand the spreadsheet. Bronze is the first rank you go into. This has a 0 cost of entry whenever you queue up, and no RP at all is needed to be placed into bronze rank. Let's break down the spreadsheet, then move on to some tips. Okay, so when we look at bronze, you can obviously see from the spreadsheet that there really is no net loss when it comes to bronze. You'll see obviously the highest score that you can achieve based on this is 250 points if you have 6 kills and you place first place overall. Now, I want to segue immediately over to tips for bronze because I feel bronze is a lot more straightforward in terms of the points because you're not really ever going to lose anything. You have nothing to lose except for the loss of not going for a fight or not trying to learn. Whenever you're bronze, this is an opportunity to go for any and all fights, to drop hot, to get into gunfights, to get rid of that tension that you normally feel at bronze. I know there's a lot of questions with individuals will ask, how do I get rid of not being nervous? How do I get rid of getting tilted? Well, when you don't really have much on the line for bronze, this is your perfect opportunity to play and have low stress and not worry about your placement and know that every single kill that you do achieve and every placement point that you do get is going to net you some points. Even if you have 0 kills and you go into 13th and 11th place, you still have garnered some points. That's important to note. So again, with bronze, do not be afraid to make pushes, make plays, go for fights, learn, make mistakes. You have to make mistakes. Everyone wants to play the perfect game. That's understandable, but if you don't make mistakes, how are you going to learn? Please don't be afraid to make mistakes. How does silver rank work? Silver rank is the second rank that you go into, and this has a -12 cost of entry. At this rank, you have a total of 1,200 RP at silver 4. So let's break down the spreadsheet, then of course, move on to some tips. Now, as we segue into the silver ranking, there is a -12 entry level cost. But really highlight when you look at the spreadsheet just how much RP you still gain. Even if you get maybe, let's say perhaps 1 or 2 kills. If you get 1 kill and you're above 14th place, you're only -2 points. And if you get 13th to 11th place, just by playing patiently and waiting, you still garner points. So perhaps at this point, you may want to start, the biggest tip I can provide is maybe you don't want to just keep landing hot and dying right off the rip. And even if you did, it's only 12 points. The biggest thing you can do at this point within silver ranking is landing close nearby, grabbing loot, and then entering the fight in a smarter way. All those mistakes that you were making in terms of bronze and just dropping hot and then realizing maybe you weren't looting fast enough, maybe you didn't know where the loot was, you take that knowledge from bronze going into silver, and now you're going to play a lot smarter, realizing when you need to go into the third party right off the rip, or whenever you need to engage the fight, or maybe we need to go get a little bit more extra loot and come right back. Because these placement points, there's a really low risk into taking the third party at the initial part of the game, and so I recommend taking that time and going for those extra fights at the start as you learn how to play. So very small shift going from bronze into silver. If you're getting points in bronze and you're doing well, you're going to have the same experience going into silver. So make mistakes, continue to learn, and improve is the biggest tips that I can provide going into silver rank. Because the biggest thing that you're going to achieve is obviously getting more kills, even as you can tell, even getting 6 kills right off the rip, or maybe 4 kills, 5 kills will still get you a lot of points. And once you get those points, all you have to do is start to play a little more patiently, and then wait, and before you know it, you'll start to rank up over time. The biggest thing about ranking up even between bronze and silver is just more or less a waiting game. You're going to continue to get points. You will get past bronze, no matter what, you will. And as you keep doing silver, it's inevitable that you're going to keep pushing through silver, just even if you don't take all the fights in the world and you go for placement. So play smart, keep pushing through. It's inevitable that you're going to rank. The question always arises, how do I rank up? Time. This is time to learn and improve your gameplay. How does gold rank work? Gold rank is the third rank that you achieve on Apex Legends. This has a -24 cost of entry, and at this rank you'll have a total of 2,800 total RP. Now, let's segue to the spreadsheet and talk about some tips. Now, as we start to approach more of the gold ranking, this is where things start to get a little bit more serious, somewhat. I mean, gold and platinum can kind of get mixed in a little bit together, but nonetheless, where you start to notice that losing 24 points, let's say if you keep dying right off the rip, how it can eat away at your time that you played within the game. So what you need to do whenever you're dropping is that you want to be smart with where you're dropping and making sure that you're snagging those kills and those third parties and waiting for placement. So obviously you have no kills. You'll start to realize that 10th and 9th place really start to become the sweet spot. You want to become in the upper echelon of the lobby, and if you get into an early fight, wait until you get into your next fight around 10th and 9th place. Those are your big ones. So yes, if you get an early fight, that's ideal. But if you can't, obviously waiting for the second fight in the lobby is going to be just as beneficial within gold rank. You don't necessarily want to keep pushing, getting kills. And of course, unless you're just on a hot streak and your team is doing really, really hot and doing really well, because getting, 6 kills right off the rip is only 36 points, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. But if you're already capped, you might as well just wait for the fights to continue taking place, because you will gain much more points and it'll scale immediately if you just play a little bit more patiently as the lobby keeps fighting it out. So let's say you've already gotten 4 kills, just as an example, 4 kills, and you are in 9th and 10th place. Well, I can promise you, if you're in 9th and 10th place with 4 kills, that if you wait patiently towards the end of the lobby when there's only 3 or 4 squads remaining, that you're going to have obviously, 1, way more points, but you only need 2 more points to achieve a total of 6. This is where gold and platinum start to become way more important in making sure that you're just not becoming overzealous. It's fine to get 10, 12, maybe 15 kills if you have the potential to do it, but realize that's not going to garner more RP points. So next up, let's talk about platinum. How does platinum work? Platinum is the 4th rank. This has a cost of minus 36 for, of course, cost of entry. At Plat, you have a total of 4,800 RP at Platinum 4. Let's segue over to the spreadsheet and let's talk about some tips. Okay, Platinum is a kind of a big rank, and I had a lot of questions on stream about it because this is where individuals really start to get stuck. This is where individuals start to halt in their progress because the 36 points starts to really cost them. This is where you don't necessarily want to hot drop anymore. This is where you want to start to play patiently, because realize even if you were to get 4 kills right off the rip, that you need to get placement points. You need to be in the top 14 above, because as you realize, you're only garnering 4 RP. Now, if you died right off the rip twice, you are minus 72 points. So getting those 4 point kills at the start of the round are vital and are important, but ask yourself the question, is it worth the minus 36? Going into the next one where you start to just constantly lose points. This is where you have to start taking your fights and realize, okay, if I have 2 kills now, or in the top, let's segue over here. You got 2 kills so far and you're in, let's say, 13th and 11th place, you're minus 11 points. But realize, if you wait patiently and wait for zone, how much this can scale up, and then realize once you get into the next fight, how much you move up in points. It's a difference of 8 points to 42. Let's say just whenever you're getting into that gunfight, let's say you realize you're waiting for zone, you're 8th and 7th place, and then you knock out 1 squad or 2 squads whenever it gets really hectic, and boom, you're now at 42, which now pretty much erases the net value of, even if you lose your next game, at least you're still on the up and up. So this is really, really important, where you start to take your fights a lot smarter. You want to play with your squad. You want to be around your squad. Remember that assists do count. So you don't necessarily want to go off all by yourself and only get 1 kill, right? If you're in a 1v1 situation, then you're costing the rest of your teammate as well RP. You want them to be able to assist and shoot those enemies together, because they're going to get better RP and placement points as well. So imagine this. Imagine you 1v2 or 3v1 one guy, then 3v1 another guy, then 3v1 another guy. Granted, not everyone got a kill, but everyone now has 3 assist points. So if we look at Platinum here, and we realize that everyone has 3 assist points, or 3 total kills, 3 kills plus assists, and I might actually change this spreadsheet whenever I post this video live to say assist at the top, so it's not confusing, realizing that assists are important. But when you're looking at overall assists, realizing that you have 3, you get a lot more points right away in 10th and 9th place, which is half the lobby, which goes by really, really fast if you're in some of these lobbies and you've seen it happen before. At least you now have a net gain, and all you have to do is wait patiently and plan your rotations to get overall better placement. Because overall, as you start to realize, even first place with 6 kills starts to drop a bit overall in terms of compared to the 250 that you would earn at bronze. So now let's talk about diamond rank, which is probably the most difficult for most newcomers, and especially whenever you're learning quite a bit. How does diamond work? Well, diamond is a 5th rank, and this has a minus 48 cost of entry. At this point, you're going to have a total of 7,200 RP once you enter diamond. So let's break down the spreadsheet and let's move on to some tips. Now, diamond rank is probably the hardest when it comes to, well, continuing onwards to masters. This is where a lot of individual players start to really get stuck, because as you realize, there's a lot of negatives here. Regardless of your placement, you're going to realize that placement is just not going to be enough to cut it. Even if you have 1 kill and get 2nd place, that is still not enough to cover the cost of entry if you happen to, be eliminated right off the rip. That's something really, really important. So yes, you have the cost of entry and then you start to garner more points, but it's really, really important to just see that you really need to get into encounters and fights. And I'm actually going to correct this on the upper left, because realize even though there's the entry cost, this doesn't automatically subtract points. You have to be eliminated. You're just trying to offset the entry cost, as you can tell, with the number of RP and points. So I'm going to click back into bronze, and we're going to give an example here, just comparing diamond to bronze ranking. So let's say I got 2nd place, right? The cost of entry is 48 points. This is 60 points. So obviously with bronze, you can tell you get the full 60 points, but there is a cost of entry that you have to cover with diamond rank, which is why you start to lose so many points. So I'll leave it as it is. I just really wanted to explain this, the 48 cost of entry points and where your points are going. It's still the same as bronze. You're just subtracting 48 right off the rip. Okay, so when we talk about the amount of fights you need to get into, ideally, you would like to get into a fight that your team can win right off the rip, and making sure that you're not going to get third-partied. Because let's say you get into a fight and you realize there's a dozen people in the lobby right at the start of the match, and you get into the thick of it. Well, let's say that's only 15th place, but let's say you manage to clutch out 3 total kills. You're still going to lose points. You're still going to lose minus 18th if you were in 15th place. If you were in 13th place, you minus 13. You have to get into an engagement that you can secure a win, but also play safe enough to make sure that you're going to get placement later. Because you will get placement points. Let's say you get 3rd and 2nd. You have to create a huge level of consistency, making sure that you get a total assist and kill points, but also making sure that you also have placement to go along with it. Because as you can tell, you still will garner a lot of points, but the problem is getting to that first place, right? We know that a lot of teams will start to play sweaty. So again, if we recap diamond, you want to fight you can win at the start, and if you get a little bit of RP, wait for the next fight that you can edge out a team from zone, that you can play patiently, and get into the next fight to either get to 4, 5, or 6 total KP points. If you go into the last few squads with only 1 or 2 assists, or even 0 assists, realize that you're still going to lose a lot of points. So you need to get into a fight, and you need to get into an encounter, and you just can't simply rat. So the decision to rat in diamond rank, let's say your team did get into a third-party fight at the very start of the round, and maybe you got a total of 3 total points, right? And maybe your Pathfinder or your Octane managed to jump away, and now you can rat to maybe 4th or 3rd place to garner 52 or 37 or 27 points. That's pretty huge, knowing that you have 3 total KP, going from 14th, getting third-partied, running away, and playing patiently and ratting. So what does ratting mean? Ratting is whenever you're the only person of your squad and you're unable to obtain the banners, and now you're just trying to play patiently for placement, waiting for other teams to fight so you can garner more points from the multiplier. So that is a tactic utilized in ranked. That's only if you have no choice at that point, and you just want to minimize the loss. Because remember, if you lose 25, 30 points and so forth, that's going to be a struggle to recoup in the next round as you continue to play throughout the night, day, or evening, whenever you're playing. So next up, let's talk about Master and Predator rank. Now for the last few ranks, how does Master and Predator rank work on Apex Legends? Predator and Master rank are the final ranks that you achieve. This has a total cost of entry of 60 points. Master at its base is a total of 10,000 RP once you've achieved the rank. Apex Legends Predator specifically is exclusive to those who are in the top 750 RP points. So let's break down this spreadsheet, then move on to some tips about Apex Predator. Now we look at Master and Predator rank. If you were consistent through Diamond and getting quite a bit of kills and knew when to take your gunfights and had good placement points, you're going to realize that placement points, even if you got second place, you're not getting any points really. If you got first place, you're only garnering 40 total points with first place. If you got no kills or assist, you need to be in the gunfight. You need to be with your squad. And at this point, you will know how to play based on Diamond ranking, and you will realize just how important it is to get into the engagement. I honestly wholeheartedly say that no person can really be carried from Diamond into Master to Predator rank, because those placement points alone are just not enough to really push somebody along. Let's say you have somebody that is trying to get hard carried through Diamond going into Master rank. Well, Diamond going into Master rank, you're going to realize that getting plus 12, plus 12, plus 12 is not enough, especially whenever you fight teams right off the rip, and you realize the cost of entry is minus 48. Let's say you had 3 rounds where you got third place with only 1 kill or total assist. Well, it's going to take a little while until you actually even out some rounds where you lost right away. Let's say you lost 2 rounds right off the rip and minus 48, minus 48. Well, that's a lot of points lost. So getting 1 total kill point and getting third place over and over and over and over again is not going to be enough to garner enough points to push you up through Diamond rank effectively. This is why individuals get hard stuck Diamond. This is why once you play a lot of Masters and Predator ranking and getting those kill points, you're going to see the teams who get into a lot of gunfights and then play patiently towards the end once they've gotten their total RP and kill points, or manage to run down the lobby and just mop up teams because they're extremely well coordinated. Now, the biggest question to wrap up is that yes, individuals can solo queue this. You can get a few RP at the start, and then you can solo queue through Diamond and Masters, but it's going to take a very, very, very long time. So let's say if you were to solo queue this based on the chart and where you're looking at, you could technically get 3 total kill points and place 4th place over and over and over and over and over again. Now, you'll have an average net value that you'll garner per day, and it's not a matter of if you'll hit Masters or Predator or even surpass through Diamond, it's a matter of time. So understand that perhaps you may not. Don't look at your skill level and say I'm not good enough. Realize that this is also a time sink, and there's a lot of time invested into this. So if you need to gain, if you're going from 7,200 going to 10,000 and you're garnering 40 points whenever you're going solo, well, if we minus 10,000 minus 7,200, you're going to see that's 2,800 points. So if you just subtract and divide that by 40, how many rounds is that? You'll realize that's 70 rounds of solo queuing if you only get 3 total assists and you get third place every single time, or even second place. Granted, the wins are going to boost you very high up, and you'll maybe get a few rounds where you place first, and you may get a few rounds where you're just going to lose a lot of RP and points depending on your placement. So it's not impossible to do, but as you realize that 70 games per day, not even per day, total, is a time sink. Every average round of Apex Legends is anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, so if you times this by 30 minutes, the max value whenever you're ratting and playing patiently, that's 2,100 minutes, and if you divide this by 60, this is a total, and I clicked away, 35 total hours spent dedicated to it. And if you realize that a rank split lasts around between 4 to 7 weeks, give or take. I know sometimes it lasts longer, sometimes it go a little bit shorter. I know in this current, I think it's 7 weeks, 6 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section down below. I'm doing this take a little bit live here, so I want to obviously, hear your feedback on that. I know some seasons last a little longer. I know some seasons don't last as long. So keep that in mind. But 35 hours in a week is like a full-time job, right? It's 40 hours a week whenever you're working. Just kind of understand that. And the reason I'm explaining this is because I don't want you to get down if you're ranking up. But part of it, if you have the skill set, is a bit of a time sink. That if you're garnering points, you are going up, and realize that it does take time because you're going to have games that you lose a lot of points, and you have games where you gain a lot of points. So you're always going to kind of sit in a kind of an average compared to, let's say, the pro players who are investing anywhere between 7 or 8 hours a day. So if we're comparing that, let's say they stream about 6 hours per day, 7 days a week, that's 42 hours, right? So of course, it'll be relatively easy to go from Diamond to Masters for them, because if we did the math already, that average already puts them up between the Master and Predator ranking. Again, I hope this video is very helpful to help you understand the point system, the scaling, and how ranked works on Apex Legends. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if this was helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video.